are we feeling after our timeouts?
I feel better.
I feel a little bit better.
You guys have any words for each other before we continue figuring out our time management?
I just want to know where all your time goes.
Well, honestly, I've kind of been keeping this from you. And I was embarrassed at first, but like now that it's turned into such a problem, I feel like maybe it's a little too late, but I play the saxophone, which doesn't sound like a big thing, but at school, I participate in a jazz band. And so a lot of times when I'm out with the guys, we're just rehearsing for jazz recitals. And I have a big jazz concert coming up next month, and we've been practicing a lot for it. I think that's taken up some of my time that I could have donated to you, and that I could have prioritized you instead. But I've been playing the saxophone, and in the jazz band for a long time now. I didn't know how you would think of that, if you would think that was something that's uncool. But I didn't want to give it up, but I feel bad now that in light of recent events, so I kind of just want to confess that, I guess.
Well, if I would have known you were in a jazz band, then I wouldn't have felt like you were just wasting your time away, not prioritizing me. Like, I understand you have other priorities. And I don't care what you do, I wouldn't have made fun of you for it.
I don't know, I didn't know if you would think that wasn't a good enough reason to not be spending time with you. So I just wasn't willing to give it up yet, I guess, and I was kind of holding on to it, so I kind of just neglected to tell you about it.
Well, if it's something you love and like doing, I would never make you stop doing it, but you definitely should have told me about it.
I see that now, but I don't know.
And then what about this girl that you've been hanging out with?
What girl?
Z girl or whatever, because
I still don't know who you're referring to.
Do you have vocals in your group?
Vocalists? Yeah, we have like singers.
And maybe, do you participate in a combo where it's just like a small group of people that you regularly see?
Like if we're gonna have singers with the jazz band, like we need to practice with them. We can't just throw in random people.
Right. So do you think maybe that the girl that Heather is thinking about might be the singer of your jazz combo?
It could be.
Well,
That's who you're talking about.
Because from what I'm hearing, most of your time ends up working on your jazz stuff. So you end up hanging out with that same group of people.
Well, we meet late at night usually, so I guess that might seem a little sketchy. I don't know, maybe she saw like some text like between me and her or something. But that's mostly just about like times like we're meeting up to practice like, for jazz. And maybe
You think
there was some sort of
misconception?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
well, you have to understand, like, how am I supposed to believe that me as your girlfriend, how am I supposed to think that you love me or you care about me when you're off with another girl and you're not telling me about her?
But there's nothing. I agree with what you're saying, but there's nothing. It's not like there's me and this other girl. It's I'm practicing with like my jazz band and she's there also.
See, but I didn't know that because you were keeping this from me. So I just see you with another girl and think, he's cheating on me.
That's not how it was going at all.
But how was I supposed to know that?
I guess you weren't. I wish you would have brought this up to me and I could have clarified, or maybe that would have been my opportunity to come clean about my jazz habits.
Mediator timeout.
problem, okay?
You can't stop the saxophone.
Take the giggles out.
Your saxophone playing habits.
That was adorable.
Your saxophone habits are tearing this relationship apart.
I just can't stay away from those woodwind instruments.
It's a brass.
The other instrument I'm gonna play is the recorder. Close enough. I was gonna say that, but I was like, I can't be in a serious committed relationship and be stashing my time to play the recorder.
Oh man, my sides hurt. I'm laughing so much. Guys, we're doing so well too.
We weren't. Fine.
I need a moment.
Take a time.
Take a 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 second timeout. The 80s become the 80s.
Basically. Okay.
It's fine. Good job.
Serious face. I'm a serious mediator who maybe went to an Ivy League school.
Who maybe went to Stanford, I don't really.
May or may not be impossible.
I don't think
I'm
you're
not
really a mediator.
I'm not actually qualified for this.
I'm just like gang up on her.
I mean, like, wait a second.
Wait a
Let me
minute.
see your degree.
Do you have that laminated in like a frame or everything?
It's like another crayon.
Graduated from the Stanford.
The Stanford. Oh, it's good. We're good. Okay, wait, no, I'm not gonna say that because it's still recording. Hold on.
I was about to say, all right, now back to the jazz habits, but then I just.
Okay. So, saxophone.
Right. Saxophone. You were putting a lot of time into jazz rehearsal, and she didn't understand that the girl that she's been seeing a lot is actually just another one of your bandmates.
I believe so. There's no other girls I was seeing besides her, or that I'm currently seeing now.
Okay. How are you feeling about this?
I feel good kind of getting it off my chest and getting it out in the open. I didn't like hiding it.
Then you shouldn't have, because it tore our relationship apart. And if I would have known that you needed this big time commitment, I would have understood and we could have worked around it. But you hid it from me.
I don't know, I just didn't know how you were going to take it, I guess. I think I understood. I apologize.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry I never came to you and talked to you about it.
It's okay. I should have just been forthcoming this time.
Is there other things you want to talk about, Heather?
I don't really think so.
How about communication via technology?
Yeah. So you think I come off, you say that you try to talk to me, and I guess I just took your text messages as you just kind of being lazy in the relationship, but I do understand that, like, you're exhausted. I get that. I get that you have work and you have school and you have jazz, and I get that it's just you still trying to communicate with me even though you're exhausted. So I'm sorry that I misjudged it as laziness.
I wish I would have tried harder. But I
Do you accept his apology? concerning, not having talked about jazz before.
Yes.
Okay. So now we both agree, we all agree with that. Communication was difficult because there were variables to each other's schedules. So maybe when you thought that Heather was free, you texted her. Turned out she wasn't. And when you thought Chris was free, you texted him. Turns out he wasn't. Right?
I'm sure it happened. So.
Okay. So, going back to the board a little bit, you see that we have very long days for a very long time. This could lead to general grouchiness, crankiness, because you've been up for a long time without having taken a nap. Believe it or not, adults can still take naps. It's okay. And with all of the extracurriculars that you're working in, and being a full-time student and a full-time worker, employee, it gets hard, right? So, can we agree to try to be a little bit more civil with each other when we're communicating in person or via technology?
Yeah.
Do you think we can apply this, reconsider, count to 10?
I think so.
I think it would help us a lot.
I think now that I understand where Heather's coming from more, that it'll be a lot easier to communicate.
I agree.
So that took care of time management. In terms of effort in the relationship, are we kind of understanding where maybe there were some holes in effort in the relationship caused to time management?
Yes.
Do you think that there's other holes in efforts into the relationship that we have not addressed?
I've never had any complaints about Heather. I think she made a good amount of effort for the relationship, and she texted me a lot, but I just didn't always get back to her. So there's no complaints on my part for that discussion.
I mean, I'm still not, I guess, happy with the amount of relationship he put in, but I do understand that he's got a lot of stuff on his plate, and that if I was doing all that, I might not have as much time or energy to put in the effort. So I do understand it.
So, do you guys feel the need to discuss any more on this?
I think we've covered
We've covered
all I
that.
wanted to say.
All right. Z girl, do we feel good about that now?
Now that I know that she's a jazz vocalist, I do feel better about it.
Now that I know who Z-Girl is, yeah, I think we covered that.
Okay. Now, keeping our jobs. So we know that. Are you racing? Yes,
Yeah.
this is good to go. So your general manager contacted me, gave me some background. He said that he has been scheduling you guys to differing shifts lately, so that maybe you guys can be a little bit better working, but he understands that summer is well on its way, and then sparing one or both of you is going to be tricky, and that he's going to need as much help as he can get. So when we're working with each other, he doesn't want to have to make accommodations every time that he schedules, which I think is understandable coming from a general manager perspective. Yes?
No, I definitely agree. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, that's not fair to ask him to do that.
Right. So, he doesn't feel compelled to fire any one of you, although he does see a way to resolve the issue by just dismissing one of you and keeping the other. But that's a tough decision because he told me that he believes both of you are really good workers when you guys are cooperative with each other and cooperative with the other staff. So, that being said, now that we understand where the other one is coming from, do you think that at work we can work better?
Yeah, I think we will.
Okay.
For the sake of keeping our jobs and just
being civil in general. I don't think it should be too much of a problem.
And how is this defined? Would one of you guys like to draw your general work area? Maybe you guys are bumping into each other at work and maybe it's annoying, like you like walk past each other a lot, or maybe you guys are really far apart. Like, let's try to understand the space a little bit better to understand why some of the interactions happen the way that they do.
I really think the proximity to each other is so much of it. I just think we weren't really being fair in the way we were communicating to each other.
Yeah, and our job requires a lot of communication, and when you don't have those, and you don't want to communicate with someone, it puts a lot of strain at your job.
Yeah, when
You can't do your
there's
job
a
right.
breakdown in the communication, it adds stress to the situation too, and I think that was maybe compiling as like fire and gasoline almost at work, like not
Mhm.
communicating and then the stress and anxiety levels.
Okay, so proximity isn't the issue, it's communication, right? Oh, wait, I don't have it. I'm just gonna put communication here. Very good. What else? In terms of being good workers, like what do you see in your team members that makes them really good workers with each other that maybe you guys can work on?
Well, they always have like a can-do, and then a happy attitude, even when they like mess up or
Yeah. Happy attitude?
they just, they stay positive.
And usually, like, when good things happen when we're very encouraging of each other, and just, hey, you're doing a great job, which I guess we don't have, because we weren't.
Positive attitude slash encouragement. What else?
Being just,
These two are the key things?
yeah, those are.
As far as I can tell.
Alright, so let's talk a little bit about how we are going to keep open communication channels and positive attitudes and encouragement. Because just because you guys say that, oh, we understand where the other person's coming from, doesn't mean that tomorrow you're gonna wake up and be like, oh, I can work with this person and it's gonna be fine, because that's not how reality plays out, unfortunately. So on communication, we need to make sure that these are open. So what are little things that we can do to keep them open?
Well, for the sake of the job, like, I can agree to communicate with her to the extent that I need to at work.
Okay, so no withholding of information.
Like, when things need to get done, I can communicate with her, that won't be a problem. I'm not willing to lose my job because I won't talk, even though when I do, and it's a source, it can hurt sometimes, but doing, communicating with an ex, obviously, I think anybody in life can kind of relate to that. but-
Can you make this same agreement?
Definitely. And like I won't get so stern or like annoyed if I think he's coming off like he doesn't like have any, you know what I mean? Like I'll just understand and then I won't just get angry right away and just shut down. I'll just do what I need to do, make sure the job works.
Okay, so we agree to communicate to get the job done. Right? Okay. On positive attitudes and encouragement, I think that might be a little bit more challenging. How are we going to stay positive?
I can keep myself positive, but I mean, there's still lingering feelings. There's not really so much I can do about that. Like it's hard to talk to somebody that you used to be with, and I can't control my emotions entirely.
I might redecided not